Hi there, and welcome back to Stubbs Aquatics. I'm here with my friend Jim, also known as Digger Jim or Gardener Jim. On this episode, we're going to be talking about getting your ponds ready for this us northern koi keepers. See, we have to do things totally different than most places, well, southern or at least south to us, and we do ours a little bit differently, but a lot of them, it's
A lot of people do a similar
yeah,
method for,
it seems to work, right?
yeah.
And before we get into all this, I just want to talk about some videos that Jim and I shot that we're going to put out a small series over the winter, and they're of some pretty amazing spots, eh?
Yeah, a lot of natural looking ponds, man-made,
Yeah,
but natural looking. Another one that is a natural pond. It's been augmented a bit to make it look a little tidier.
yeah.
Um,
There's
there's
some.
also a couple of man-made ponds.
Yep.
There's a variety from a small goldfish pond
Yeah,
to
yeah.
this massive. Would you think that was 60 feet long?
60
That
or
pond?
70.
Just an incredible
Yeah,
spot.
it's got to be seen to be believed.
It's one of the best features I have ever seen in a garden.
Well, that's why
It's
it has
absolutely
almost
incredible.
1,000,000 views on it,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's got to be seen to be believed.
right,
Just
and
beautiful.
some of the others, there's one, I'm gonna spoil it right now. It's just because it's like a Mediterranean garden that you've never seen before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's a
that's
beautiful spot in town.
in town,
Yeah.
and we talked about when we pull up to these places, you wouldn't think that's there until you see it. So make sure you get this series, and we'll be putting that out in the winter when
Midwinter, yeah, when we need a boost.
yeah, us Canadians and other people in the north really need the boost because winter drags on for, well, virtually ever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of dragging on forever, this video that we're doing now, we're going to show you what we do to get our ponds ready for the upcoming, and I hate to say the W word,
Yeah,
but
it's coming
it's coming quick. We've got some temperatures that are going to go down to -1, -2.
next week.
Yeah. So,
But I'm surprised we haven't had a frost yet. It hasn't
well,
been a bad couple of months.
no extra feeding for the
Overall.
koi, and
Yep.
well, let's get to it.
Well, it looks like Chris is getting ready for winter here.
Yeah,
So, I said the W word, didn't I?
yeah, you know better as a good Canadian.
So, what you got going on here, Chris?
Well, as you can see, we got the pool noodle. A good buddy of mine, being you, gave me the idea of the pool noodle to insulate the tubing so the tube doesn't freeze up, and to extend it over the water. So, using your method, I've got a good strong 10-watt air pump, along with a light for heat source to keep it warm, so it's blowing warm air instead of cold air into the pond. I find that works a lot better. I drop the stones down to about only a foot deep because I don't want it to chill the water from all the way down below. And yeah, so what I want to do is keep a nice, good sized hole open for proper gas exchange. That's the whole idea of this, and that's what the koi need. The koi are going to go right down to the bottom. This pond is almost 6 feet deep, so they'll sit right on the bottom and they'll stay there throughout the year or throughout the season. And hopefully they won't move much. But right now they're still pretty active and wanting food. Well, we'll go set up the next one, which is a little bit different than this.
One question for you first.
Sure.
Do you find with the light bulb in with your air pump, it prevents condensation in your air lines?
Yeah, it helps. Condensation in the airlines, it just freezes them up that much quicker. And again, it's a heat source. And what I use also is something where I can see if the light is off, then I know I have to replace the bulb.
So it looks like you have the same sort of setup on this pond as you did for the other.
A little bit different. I don't have the light going in this one. I've got 2 pumps, and I decided to put a second pump in the other one, just in case one dies. And it happens over the winter, and it's usually when it's -40, and it's the worst time for one to go. Speaking of -40, I hate to do it, but one of my neighbors gave me a pond heater, I've got it. It's not plugged in. It's for emergencies only when we do get those super cold temperatures. It's only a 300 watt, but should keep the pond open on those coldest days that we have. And that's the main idea. I've changed the location of this. I've gone with a shallower area. I want my deep area in behind me that's 6 feet deep, that we worked our asses off to get it that deep. I want the fish to take full advantage of it and for that area not to be chilled at all. So we've got really good water movement here. As far as the pumps go and the waterfalls, I'm going to keep that going as late as I can this year. If you want to take a look at the falls over here, I'm going to try to get that going right until it gets minus stupid and it starts freezing up top. I want to keep use of the filtration going. I think that'll help. I also I'm going to do a super clean of my filter, the filter media, probably next week, where I'm going to take it to the car wash and just pressure wash the heck out of it. I don't have to worry about biological filtration because it's too cold for beneficial bacteria anyways. So it'll be strictly mechanical filtration. I'm going to keep that going as late as I can into the season. The stream over here, I'm going to do the same with it. I'm going to keep that going as long as I possibly can this season. So into November, we'll have to see. But as soon as it starts freezing up at all, I'll have to turn it off and drain them. And then I'll just go with the bubblers. But I'm going to keep the filtration going as long as I possibly can. The Easy Pod, I've already drained. It's no longer running. There's no sense of it running. It's too cold for the beneficial bacteria right now to really do much. And I'm going to change the outflow of it anyways, simply because we're still having problems with a few leaks. And now that I don't have as much water flow through this segment of the pond, the water flow issue and the loss of water has ended. I haven't added the top up in well over a week and a half, which is great. Saves me a few bucks. I will do a massive water change before winter hits though, because we have to shut off our water here outside because the pipes will freeze solid. And you do that, you're in big trouble. So everyone who says just do a water change, not that easy to do here. Not when it's that cold. I can run a hose from inside the house going out, but that too can be a problem. And you've got to keep one hose dry all the time, because if you get any freeze up in the hose, it's going to block, and then you're going to run into more problems with either your hose splitting or your actual line in your house splitting because of the pressure. Well, let's go take a look at Jim's setup, and we'll compare them. So back over to Jim's place. I do love this setup. I still can't believe that this little pond here houses koi for how many years?
I think 14 years.
14 years. And they survived the winters. Go figure. And that's what? Not even 4 feet deep, is it?
No. Nope. The deepest spot is probably close to 4 feet, but it's not a huge area. And then the rest of it goes from 3 feet to 2 feet to a foot.
I can't believe those massive koi survived there all those years.
I only lost one winter. The snow gets piled up here pretty high, and my aerator was in the corner up here in the deep end, suspended. I didn't realize the pond froze over. I didn't see the hole because of all the snow. One day I walked by, and there was a little bit of an opening, and my koi were all up gasping for air. And I thought, hey, look, they're all alive. And then I realized They don't have the oxygen they need. So I threw a little tabletop pump in there to get the water moving. Anyway, a year later, I lost one of my koi. A beautiful butterfly. He was blue. Awesome. And I'm assuming that's because he suffocated. And I've heard that can happen. They may not die right away. It may take some time, and then they succumb to, I guess, injuries to their gills from lack of oxygen. I'm not certain on that. But anyway, that's the only one that I've ever lost over a winter. So I've learned a couple of things. Anyway, I'm not ready to set my stuff up yet, but I will explain what I do. It's very similar to what Chris does. I have in here, I have one pump, which I put in a shoebox. And currently it's running one stone in this pond, and then one stone way over in the far corner. I'll take that stone out, bring it over here, pull this one up to the shallow end, and so my aeration, my stones will be right at this end. It's the shallowest end in the pond. And I built this little styrofoam cover for it to keep it insulated. My other pump is under here. And currently it's running a disc, and that's down about 5 feet. And it's doing a really good job of producing a nice air column. And what I do in the winter for this pond, or what I did last year, is I rigged this up. And I just basically suspended that. It goes down probably about 18 inches. And that keeps a decent opening in the pond. And once again, it'll be the pump that's under that pot that runs this. But this year, I'm going to get a plank or a piece of wood, and I'm going to run it right across the pond and then suspend that down. The problem I had last year is I couldn't keep this stable, and it would do this in the pond. So it wasn't giving me the aeration that I needed to keep an opening in the ice. So I had to keep wiggling it back down again. So I'm going to try and do it where it's a little more stable, and it'll stay straight down.
Now, you don't keep your waterfalls and your pumps going, right?
I like to keep my water moving as long as I can. There have been years, and with the old pond, I've had ice form on the surface before I've got my pump out of the pond. And I wake up in the morning and there's ice on the pond. I'm going, uh-oh, I got to do something with that pump. Anyway, in the beginning of the season, you'll get ice on the pond, and then it'll melt away, and it'll form again and melt away. So I just got to watch the forecast and watch the temperatures and watch what your pond is doing. If it's freezing over and perhaps not thawing out during the daytime, you might want to shut down your water flow. I will definitely clean out my filters. There'll be no media in the filters. I can't say when, maybe in a couple of weeks. But I will keep the water flowing, because I don't like the water sitting stagnant. And just like Chris, I'll be doing water changes as long as I can.
And battling all the leaves.
And the leaves. Yeah,
some of your trees are already bald, but you got some that still have to drop yet.
Yep. Yeah, the skimmer's not looking too bad right now.
That's looking a lot better than mine.
There's a few leaves in there.
Mine is just leaf city.
Yeah.
But that's this time of year, and
I've had a couple of times already this year where I've been sucking air, because I haven't got in there and got the leaves out of the basket. It hasn't been a huge issue yet, but if you look around, there's a lot of leaves to come down still.
Yep.
The problem I do have is in my spillway from my bog garden. I've actually had to move some rocks out because it gets so collected with leaves that it starts diverting water out of my pond. So that's what I really have to keep an eye on. Anywhere I've got water moving, I got to make sure that there's no leaves plugging it up and slowing down the flow.
But you'll shut down your waterfalls and stream though, right?
For the winter, definitely.
Because it'll get diverted.
Yep, definitely.
And super chill your pond, and
yeah, and you don't want that happening.
So you raise your air stones up about the same level as mine, I take it?
About 12 to 18 inches down. You don't want to take it to the bottom, because you're just going to be pulling warm water up from the bottom, and you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
All you want to do is keep an opening in the surface.
agitated for air exchange or gas exchange?
You need the gas exchange. You need the carbon dioxide and the oxygen exchange. And if you don't have an opening, it doesn't have to be huge, but if you don't have that opening, your fish can suffocate because the carbon dioxide just builds up in the water. You have no aeration, there's no oxygen happening, so they don't need a lot.
I still can't get over the fact that they used to live in that other pond for that long, and these are huge. Now they're not currently coming up right now, which is too bad, but they're shutting down and going down deep. But they're at least twice the size of mine.
We're probably sitting now at about 52 degrees in there.
So you're sitting at about 52, you said?
Yeah, it's been about 52 degrees now,
You
consistently for a couple of weeks.
You get a little bit more sun than I do. So that would explain why yours is warmer.
Yeah. And I think, too, I'm not sure, maybe one of your viewers can comment on this. I've always made the comment, I compare my fish to your fish. And mine are not sluggish, but they just don't have the movement that your fish do. Your fish are really active. They're always zooming around. Mine don't. Now, I'm wondering if it's their age and their size.
Age, and I find that you have a lot of butterfly, and I find that they don't move around as much.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I'm just biased. It could be age. It could be just the fish itself.
Yeah.
I mean, your fish are obviously healthy and growing, and
yeah,
they're absolutely massive.
Yeah. Yeah, they've done a good job. They adjusted quite nicely to being in this pond, and I mentioned in a previous video a lot of work that we had to do to this pond this summer to get it to where it is now. And they seem to be doing fine. They seem to be happy in here. They look good. I don't see any issues.
What? You gonna say something?
What?
Well, I hope this helped you guys figure out what you had to do for your ponds. I want to thank Jim for taking us over his pond, and I'll let him finish up here. And now for my buddy Jim to sum everything up.
Yep. This time of year kind of sucks being a koi keeper. There is one benefit this time of year, though. Water temperature's cooler. Fish are moving a lot slower. A great time to inspect your fish. Great time to get a really good look at them, make sure there's no issues.
No bugs?
No bugs, no fuzzy eyes, no whatever.
And the herons?
The heron, I think, is finally gone.
Good.
I think he's finally gone.
What
I hope. That was a nasty 2 months.
Yeah.
Anyway, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Think about subscribing to this channel. Chris has got a great channel. And
don't miss those spots we went to. Some of those are some customers of yours.
Yeah, some of these upcoming videos in the winter.
And you know, they all talked about what they want to do to their ponds, and you know, we're going to change them around or help them change it around.
Yeah, we got a bit of work to do in the spring for a couple of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm really grateful that these people opened up their properties, their backyards, for us to come in and shoot some video and show you guys different ideas, different concepts that people have come up with.
Yeah. So don't forget to check out that series that'll be coming out over the winter, because we'll be snowed in and hating every minute of it.
Yep.
Well, thanks again. We'll see you real soon. Bye for now.
An outtake with the mic still left on. Oops.
I'm losing my voice. I need you to.
No,
I'm going to go 3, 2. I'll do 3, 2, 1 because it'll just go on.
Yeah.
Just to say, you know, our systems are pretty much very similar.
Yeah.
And that you're going to run yours as late as you can too. And
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then
well, I can talk about that part when I get over to my place.
Yeah. And we do my usual
winter socks.
I'm going to do this for you know, don't forget to subscribe and all that shit.
Yeah.
I'll get you to do it this time.
No.
Fucking right.
I'll stumble all over.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I will.
Hit the notification bell, hit the thumbs up. Think about subscribing.
Like this video.
Yep.
Subscribe.
Yep. That's all you have to do. We're still taping, just so you know.
Are we?
Yeah. Because it's going to be a pain in the ass.
This will be a good outtake.
Fuck you.